Everyone. Apopka High School welcomes you to Joe Sterling Gymnasium for Game 23 of the 12th Annual Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge, presented by St. Germain Chiropractic and Burnpat Orlando. It's the event that puts the reputation of the Orlando Metro Conference on the line against some of the best talent in the greater Central Florida area. And today, in this Game 23, we welcome as our guests wearing the black jerseys. Visitors on the scoreboard from Discovery High School in Lake Alfred, Florida, they are the Spartans. And wearing the white jerseys, home on the scoreboard, representing the Orlando Metro Conference from West Orange High School, please welcome the Warriors. Let's meet the teams, beginning with our guests from Discovery. And we'll start at guard with 6'2" senior, number 2, Lazarous Mwelwa Jr. At guard, 5'8" senior, number 3, Fiferson St. Fleur. At guard and small forward, 6'3" junior, number 5, Wille Wilson. At small forward, 6'4", junior, number 10, Dante Hines. And finally, for the Spartans, at small forward, 6'4", senior, number 25, Angel Canuelas. The Spartans are coached by Wille Wilson in his 4th year at the helm of Discovery. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for the West Orange Warriors, starting at forward with 6'4" senior, number 1, Kyle Behrle. At forward, 6'3" junior, number 2, Daniel Burden. At point guard, 5'9" senior, number 4, Kyle Horn. At guard, 6' senior, number 10, James Narcisse. And finally for the Warriors, at shooting guard and small forward, 6'3" senior, number 11, Frederick Crumpton. The head coach of the Warriors in his 1st year at the helm of West Orange, Mr. Eddie Johnson. The officials for today's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando. We thank them for their dedicated service to our high school athletic programs and join them along with our participating schools, reminding everyone to make great sportsmanship a part of this and every athletic competition. This game, like all 28 games in the 12th Annual Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge, is being live streamed on Varsity Sports Network. If you have friends or family back in Lake Alfred, back in Winter Garden, or anywhere in the world and they're unable to join us in person for this game, let them know. Or if you need to step away yourself later on this afternoon, you can tune in on the Varsity Sports Network app on your favorite Apple TV, Roku, or Fire Stick device, or on any device from varsitysportsnetwork.org. And we want to welcome those of you who have done just that. Welcome to Joe Sterling Gymnasium, live on Varsity Sports Network. My name is Mark Barchi. I'm the media director for the Metro versus Florida Challenge, and I'm joined by Neil Fisher of the Apopka Chief and VSN to take you through this 23rd game out of 28 total here from Joe Sterling Gymnasium.
And thank you, Mark. Once again, excellent job of getting this game started with the introductions. And right off the bat, the splash from Narcisse.
From James Narcisse.
So 11-11 is now the series. This is the Metro versus Florida Challenge. Each side, the Metro Conference in Florida contingency with 3 each. And draining the rain on the other side is Canuelas. So a pair of trays open us up in the second of 7 games, the last day of this 2022 Metro versus Florida Challenge. And we're going to go for 3, no dice. That was Crumpton trying to stroke another 3. Possession goes to Discovery. Discovery out of Lake Alfred, Florida. A Class 4A District 7 team, 19-9 record last year. Won their district championship. which means they're also in the playoffs. They did not win in the playoffs. And, of course, Wieland Bovell, as Mark alluded to during the introductions, is their head man in his 4th season now. Certainly he's built a strong, consistent program. I believe they've gone to the playoffs all four times that they've been in this event. And we're going to get a turnover right off the bat. Maybe not so much off the bat. No, actually, it'll remain with Discovery. 3-3. Both teams draining a tray on their opening possession, then missing the 3-point attempt. Looking at West Orange, of course, they had interesting season. 11-15 right off the bat. They had to deal with adversity. No one usually doesn't have to as we get contact. And that's the big man, Canuelas, making contact. And he'll be charged with the foul.
Foul called against Spartans number 25, Angel Canuelas, team's first.
About a week before the start of the regular season, their longtime coach, Eric Jones, has that 3. Fine splash from Crumpton.
3 from Frederick Crumpton.
6-3 lead. So Eric Jones, the longtime West Orange coach, about a week before the start of the regular season, resigned. And they never really got into any kind of groove. Of course, West Orange always putting up a 19, 20, 21 win season, contender to get into the playoffs. As initially rebounded by Canuelas, but couldn't hold as he was deluged. And West Orange cannot drop the deuce. And of course, that change of the coach at the last minute, resulting in the 11-15 record.
Held ball, possession, Warriors.
As Mark said during the introduction, Eddie Johnson has taken over this season. This is his very first regular season game as a head coach. West Orange, a member of Class 7A District 5, which Apopka fans, really anybody on the west side of Orange County, is very familiar with. That is the longtime rival of Apopka, for a while also a rival of Wekiva. Still somewhat of a rival, although they are now in different classifications, and they have a 7-4 record in this event. So West Orange with the 6-3 lead, a pair of trays, giving them that lead. And Discovery with the tight defense.
Stepped out, Spartans ball.
So this is the 2022 Metro versus Florida Challenge. Thank you for joining us on Varsity Sports Network, spending a part of your holiday weekend with us. Of course, there's plenty of options when it comes to sports this weekend. And that also includes the addition of the World Cup as the ball comes the other way. Slash a dash. And Khalil Horn draws the foul. Discovery did a nice job of cutting off that right lane. The center of the lane not able to cut into the middle, but still committed the foul.
Foul called against Angel Canuelas. That's his second, the team's second. At the line, shooting's number 4, Khalil Horn.
And so Horn at the free throw line with an opportunity to further increase that lead. First free throw successful. 4:43 remaining in the first quarter. And the premise, the concept of the Metro versus Florida Challenge, which of course is the brainchild of Scott Williams, the head man here at Apopka High School, started in 2010 at Wekiva High School. Coach Williams was the head coach over there, started the program at the time. And it's based on the ACC Big Ten Challenge, the Big 12 versus SEC Challenge. Every school, every member of the Metro Conference in each of these 28 games has a steal. Less like a defensive back, jumping the route. Horn goes coast to coast and makes the withdrawal from the bank.
Khalil Horn. 4 points for him out of the 10 total for the Warriors so far.
Last 4 by Horn. Not the traditional way, at the free throw line and then off the turnover. Back the other way. That's Matthews trying to drop the tray and get his team cut into
block
the lead.
Block is called against number 2, Daniel Burton, his first, the team's first. That was behind the arc, so the Spartans Seth Matthews will go to the line and shoot 3.
So at the end of the 28 games, as I was saying, we total up who has more victories, the Metro Conference or the non-Metro members, a.k.a. the Florida contingency. We're tied at 11-11 with 6 games remaining. As the lead remains 10-3, a 7-0 run by West Orange. And Matthews was really a gift. The mistake created by West Orange as he's shooting the 3, and he's unable to convert, take advantage of it so far. Gets 1 of 3. That'll break the 7-0 run. Still a 10-4 lead for West Orange. And how do you get membership into the Metro Conference? Well, it's very simple. If you are a public high school located in Orange County, as Discovery comes back the other way, Matthews not able to corral the ball on the pass, and now he makes the bad pass, the errant pass right to Narcisse, who comes back the other way, and Narcisse launches and finds the range.
3 from Jens Narcisse. 6 points for him.
13.
All 6 of them coming from 2 perimeter shots.
And a 13-4 lead for West Orange, as they continue to stroke the shots from a distance, as Mark just alluded to. Getting back to membership in the Metro Conference, if you're a public high school located in Orange County, you are a member. As there's the tray, Discovery answers.
Seth Matthews on the jumper.
And unlike college, there is no vote, there's no discussion among the president. No invitations are offered, no acceptance. Just once your school opens, if you are located in Orange County in a public high school, you become a member of the Metro Conference. That stroke not finding the range. Gonzalez, Discovery, strong rebounding. They haven't had a lot of opportunities, but when the opportunity has come, they have not allowed any second opportunities for West Orange. Of course, they are not able to find the range yet either. They got a couple of 3s, but below 40%. West Orange continues to launch from 3-point range. Horn ripping that rebound, and West Orange will go back to work. 2:15 remaining, first quarter, 13-6 lead. Now West Orange with their longest possession in terms of time. That's not going to last for much longer, though, as Behrle launches, does not get the rebound, or the shot. Second opportunity does not drop for Crumpton either. And at the other end, possession will remain with Discovery. So West Orange doing an excellent job on defense, getting in the way of the shooter, cutting off the lane, but Discovery keeps control of the ball. 1:44 remaining. Man-to-man defense by both teams so far, which of course has become the traditional, the standard defensive concept. And A.J. Bagwandis, number 3, into the game. As Daniel Burden will take a breather. West Orange back to work with that 7-point lead. Second of 7 games today. Stop, pop, and drop for Khalil Horn. So West Orange continues to hit those outside shots. So far they're above 50%. That's an eye test. Discovery continues to attempt them, and they're doing a nice job of rebounding, but only connecting about 35%. Again, at high school level, we do not have the manpower to keep stats.
Foul called against Warriors number 1, Kyle Behrle. That's his first. The team second at the line, shooting number 5, Wille Wilson.
So that's why I say the eye test as far as the statistics. But I can tell you, and I know this for sure, is 6 free throw attempts have been taken now by Discovery. They're 1 of 6, make that 2 of 7. So certainly there's some points left on the table. As back at the other end, in the 15-8 lead, West Orange back to work. That's Behrle, the senior, slash dash in the finger roll deuce.
Kyle Behrle down the paint for 2.
So Behrle saw an opening and took advantage of it. 35 seconds, first quarter, 17-7 lead for West Orange. They led from the first possession, and now an opportunity to up that lead. And Behrle's going to take the honors. Short, clinks off the front of the rim. Bounce pass, another bounce pass. Getting that third pass is Hines, and he finger rolls the deuce in. So 17-9, last possession, first quarter. And Horn won't get the shot off, but that's because he's fouled. Contact on the right side of the lane.
Foul called against Spartans number 10, Dante Hines, is first, the team's third.
So 3.4 seconds left. West Orange will inbound. Narcisi individually swing it out to the left side, and the shot by Ferme that does not find the range.
That takes us to the end of the first quarter, and it is an 8-point ball game. 17-9, the Warriors lead the Spartans at the end of the opening quarter here in Game 23 of the 12th Annual Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge. Back with more from Joe Sterling Gymnasium after a quick break.
Second quarter begins from Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium on the campus of Apopka High School. West Orange, representing the Metro Conference, was a 17-9 lead over Discovery. Representing the Florida contingency, the 2022 Metro versus Florida Challenge, heading into our home stretch, fourth day, final day, second of 7 games. That's West Orange in the white, launching the tray, no dice. Discovery down by 8. Opportunity cut into it, some strong rebounding. That's been their forte in this game. The outside shooting has been West Orange's. And now the answer.
Basket from number 2.
Mwelwa Jr. cutting the lead to 17-10 at the other end. Inducing contact, driving that lane is DeGems Narcissus, a 6-foot senior guard.
Seth Matthews is calling the foul, his first, the team's fourth. That'll send number 10, DeGems Narcissus, to the line, shooting 2.
So, of course, West Orange, a longtime member of the Metro Conference, almost a century. One of the very first teams in the Metro Conference. And they are part of that, I guess you could say, cluster of 5 or 6 teams over here on the west side of Orange County that seem to always in every sport contend for a playoff spot. Of course, they're always in that same district. You can even look at it as cousins as the ball rolls in, and now a
basket for Wille Wilson. So yeah, West Orange, 1975 they opened their doors.
So almost 50 years. To be honest, I thought they had been opened a little bit longer. But nonetheless, as that ball rims it out for Narcisi, the other part of that cluster, you have Apopka, Dr. Phillips, as the 6-foot J
Wille Wilson.
And I would put a Coe in there as well, although Coe not quite as strong in athletics as the other 3 teams. Nothing.
Rims
in for Behrle.
Kyle Behrle. 5 points for him with those 3 added.
Yeah, Mark, and we've talked about this in the past. Behrle is one of those players, as the ball goes out of bounds, possession will remain with Discovery. He seems to have been at West Orange for about 8 years now. That name just seems so familiar. Again, that's Kyle Behrle, the 6'4" senior forward who just drained the rain, the three-pointer. And that upped the lead back up to 6, 21-15. Discovery, so attacking that inside, the spin, no dice, rolls off. And speaking of Behrle, shows his rebounding prowess. Quick pass out, back to Behrle at the top of the key, and indecision, travel.
Traveling, Spartans ball.
Back to work, Discovery goes after the turnover. Great opportunity to cut into that lead, get down to 1 possession. It will not drop off the side of the rim, Canuelas. And so now West Orange. And they make good on their opportunity.
3 for Elijah Fermin.
Back up to a 9-point lead. Lead has been as many as 9, so this is tied for the second time.
Angel Canuelas answers for the Spartans.
Meanwhile, at the other end, West Orange wasting no time getting down into the lane and attacking.
Foul is called against number 10, Dante Hines, his second personal foul. The team's 5th. At the line, shooting for the Warriors, Daniel Burton.
.452 remaining. West Orange with the 24-17 lead. And it's going to stay 24-17. Burton unable to sink either of the free throws. Golden opportunity to get that lead up to 3 possessions and reestablish control of this game in terms of the style. And now Discovery goes to work. Of course, they've been in this position a couple of times recently where they were able to hold West Orange to a stop but couldn't cut into the lead. Make that 3 times now as Behrle takes the pass on the right side, one-on-one against Matthews. Out to the left wing, Burton controlling, decides not to attack. West Orange pulls it back out, looking for another opportunity. Behrle flashes high and goes bang.
3 for Kyle Behrle.
So this time, West Orange does convert, and now the 10-point lead, the largest of the game. As you heard Mark say, give the basket to Behrle, the senior. That ball does not drop, rolls over the rim. Behrle, one of 5 seniors on this year's West Orange team. This time the three-pointer does not drop. Clearing the rebound, Mwelwa, junior. He spins, tries to go bang too hard. Behrle takes over, grabs the rebound after the tip, but West Orange can't hold on to it. The drive, the charge, the withdrawal by Yakara, +1.
Foul called against number 1, Kyle Behrle, his second, the team's 3rd. The basket by Wille Wilson is good. He's at the line shooting for the 3-point play.
.324 remaining before halftime. 27-19 lead for West Orange. They led throughout. They scored on their first possession. A 3-pointer coming off the hands of DeGems Narcisse. And what now Discovery, after falling behind by the largest margin of 10, the 3-point play from Matthews cuts the lead back down to 7, 27-20. This is the 2022 Metro versus Florida Challenge. Second of 7 games on the 4th and final day. Thank you for joining us, spending a part of your holiday with us. as Gonzalez unable to drop the deuce from 10 feet out. And now Discovery will go back to work. Opportunity cut into that 7-point, 3-possession lead. And that's the big guy. Canuelas spins around and floats in the deuce. 27-22, back down to 5 points. And an opportunity to get a couple of consecutive baskets off the turnover. The pass from Wille Wilson.
Wille Wilson to Lazarous Mwelwa. And we'll have a delay of game warning charge to the Spartans. It's taken it down to a 1-possession ball game, 27-24. The Warriors still on top.
A 7-0 run for Discovery as we hit 2:30. They could go 9-0. West Orange, good recovery defense getting back, but they do commit the foul in order to get into position.
Foul called against number 10, James Narcisse, his first, the team's fourth. Checking in for the Warriors, number 4, Khalil Horn. Spartans ball at the opposing baseline.
So a 3-possession game, or 3-point lead now. 7-0 run for Discovery. And Mwelwa will inbound the ball, and they're going to set up in the half-court offense, more deliberate pace. Nope, they're not really going to set up. Wilson takes the shot from the free throw line, can't drop it. West Orange collides, converges on that rebound, and at the other end, it's Horn, slash, dash, goes for the finger roll deuce, and great defense, contact in the charge.
Player
Offensive.
control, foul called against Khalil Horn, his first, the team's fifth.
So Discovery at the other end, making the withdrawal, Canuelas.
Angel Canuelas.
9-0 run for Discovery, cutting the lead to 1 point. At the other end, the momentum continues. Slapped away, the rejection, and a couple kick passes. Mwelwa gets the ball in the corner, and one-on-one, he's forced out of bounds as West Orange relies on the defense to keep that lead at 27-26. I'm Neil Fisher, along with Mark Barchi, doing on-air talent as well as directing. And up high above us, with the bird's eye view operating our camera, is Rob Cleveland. As the battle wages on, and there's the trade, drain the rain
for Khalil Horn.
So that ups the lead back to 2 possessions, 30-26. 103.
Stripped by James Narcisse. He'll get a spin move on the other end himself. Doesn't fall, and a scramble for the rebound.
On the right side of the paint. Back out to Narcisse. He'll slow down the pace, reset the offense, which is not going to last long. Splash!
3 for Ethan Gonzalez. And we'll pause for a timeout. 30-second timeout called by the Warriors.
So the Warriors, after seeing their lead cut to 1 point, answer with a couple of trays as they make some excitement happen. 33-26, 42 seconds before halftime, the 2022 Metro versus Florida Challenge at Apopka High School.
42.8 seconds remaining in the first half here in game 23 of the Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge, presented by St. Germain Chiropractic and Burnfat Orlando.
11-11 is the count between, again, the Metro and Florida teams. 30 seconds remaining. Discovery needing to get some points after giving up a couple of trays.
3 for Lazarous Mwelwa.
So a 3-point shooting contest has broken out, 3 consecutive, and opportunity for Discovery to cut into that lead. They do, going withdrawal.
Wille Wilson steals the layup.
So that breaks the streak of 3-point field goals, but serves the purpose Discovery needed, cutting into that lead. And no dice, the attempt on the three-pointer at the end of the second quarter. And so Discovery has yet to lead, but after falling behind by 10 points in the first quarter, they rally a 9-0 run themselves, and when it's all said and done, we got what is shaping up to be an exciting finish, 33-31, West Orange in the lead.
Bishop Moore. The Warriors have the opening possession of the third quarter.
And we begin the second quarter with
third quarter
with West Orange representing the Metro Conference, holding a 33-31 lead over Discovery, representing the Florida contingency. And once again, we thank you for joining us on this holiday weekend as we get this second half underway.
And Warriors go down hard there, and he'll win an Oscar, but not a foul for that.
And the battle rages on underneath as we get a foul.
That was prior to the shot.
Black three.
Foul called against Discovery's number 3, Iverson St. Fleur. That's his first, the team's first of this half.
So, leading scorers.
Gems Narcisse down the baseline for 2. Warriors now up by 4. And Neil, this has kind of an odd deja vu sensation to the last game that we watched, where we saw Mineola and leading the Wildcats, but the Wildcats never, Winter Park never letting them get more than 3 possessions away.
Yeah, and just want to get the leading scorers in here real quick. That's Burley ripping the rebound down, and I mentioned him because he leads all of the players with 10 points. Of course, the senior forward. That's been his mantra for all 4 years he's been at West Orange. Familiar name if you follow high school basketball in this location, West Orange County. And then leading the way for Discovery with 9.
Foul called against Warriors number 10, Gems Narcisse, his second, the team's first. That will send the Spartans to the line. Shooting 2 for Discovery will be number 2, Lazarous Mwelwa.
Angel Canuelas with 9 for Discovery. Wille Wilson with 8. And Lazarous Mwelwa with 7. So West Orange going with the main guy concept. Again, Burley has 10. The next highest scorer is Narcisse with 6. And then the second, third, and fourth leading scorers are all from Discovery. They're going with the scoring by committee approach.
So, Mwelwa hits his first.
West Orange has led from the beginning, scoring on its first possession. Narcisse draining a tray. And as Mark said, it's pretty, West Orange has been in the lead throughout, but they've never been able to get the lead to more than 3 possessions. Actually, it was a 10-point lead for about 10 seconds, but other than that, it's never been more than 3 possessions. As there's a foul.
No, just out of bounds.
Okay, out of bounds. No dice. Burley's skying for that rebound. Back at the other end. Narcisse says fade away. That's no dice either. And again, on the rebound, Matthews skies. Down in the corner, the launch. And splash from Ashen Star.
3 for Wille Wilson.
So, excuse me, that was Wille Wilson. 5.5 remaining, and we are tied at 35 all. It's our first tie of the game, and just that
Answered
quickly,
down the baseline by Khalil Horn.
just that quickly, as you heard Mark say, Horn scores, and the lead and the tie is broken. West Orange back in the lead.
Traveling, Warriors ball.
And now an opportunity to go back up by 2 possessions. West Orange defense showing up when they need it, preventing Discovery from really getting on any kind of significant run and create some momentum.
And now we're going to get a held ball, possession Spartans.
.5:11 remaining in the third quarter. 37-35 lead. West Orange representing the Metro Conference ahead of Discovery High School. Representing the Florida contingency, of course, West Orange and Winter Garden. So named as that ball ripped off by Burden because they are on the west side of Orange County. Discovery High School out of Lake Alfred. This is the 2022 Metro Conference Challenge. Short, that was Horn, and the long outlet.
Transition opportunity, got it! Basket by Angel Canuelas.
Tied at 37 all as West Orange goes back to work and making the withdrawal.
Answer by Khalil Horn.
So after I'd say average pace in terms of scoring, the intensity has certainly picked up on the last 4 or 5 possessions and continues with Canuelas.
3 from Angel Canuelas.
And Discovery takes its first lead of the game on that tray. Canuelas scoring the last 5 points for Discovery. 11-11 series. The spin by Horn, and he floats in the deuce. Back into
Khalil Horn again for the Warriors.
So to quote John Ross, if you're a wrestling fan, longtime WWE announcer, business is picking up here at Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium in terms of the scoring.
Timeout, Spartans. 30-second timeout. So we'll pause here as we've got a back and forth one going. 1 point lead for West Orange. 41-40 the score with 3:37 left in the third.
Welcome back to Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium, home of the Apopka Blue Darters in the Metro versus Florida Challenge. We are deadlocked at 11-11 in terms of the Metro versus Florida. This particular game is a 41-40 lead for West Orange over Discovery.
3 for Sean Starr.
And no sooner do I say West Orange has the lead, Starr buries the tray and Discovery back in the lead. And now we are tied at 40.
Answered by Kyle Behrle. New ball game.
Behrle pounding his way through the lane. And now the turnover and the easy deuce off the bank from Horn.
Khalil Horn retakes the lead for the Warriors.
So for the first 2.5 quarters or so, West Orange led as Canuelas slides in and makes the withdrawal from the bank. He'll also go to the no basket.
Player control foul is called against Angel Canuelas, his third, the team's first of this half, and it turns the ball over to the Warriors. Basket does not count.
So, as I was saying, 2.5 quarters, West Orange led. They scored on the first possession, draining a tray. Now we've had 4 lead changes in about 1 minute and 15 seconds and a tie.
Foul called against Lazarous Mwelwa, his third, the team's second of this half.
So the concept, as West Orange will maintain possession of the Metro versus Florida Challenge. First off, thank you for joining us on this holiday weekend. We know there's a lot of sports options out there. Of course, this year added is the World Cup. There are 22 teams, schools in the Metro Conference. And in order to be a member of the Metro Conference, you need to be a public high school located in Orange County. No membership extended or offered as we get the turnover on the attempted inbound. It's a foul.
Team control foul is called against Khalil Horn. That's his second personal foul, the team's second, and it turns the ball over to the Spartans.
When the school opens, it is automatically a member of the Metro Conference. As Starr launches, no dice, and Behrle clears the rebound. West Orange will not go on the run. This time they'll slow it down, go into a half-court set. So 28 games in total. This is the fifth to last game now. In each of those games, a member of the Metro Conference takes on a non-member known as the Florida Contingency as the turnover.
Team control foul called against Daniel Burton, his second personal foul. The team's third. That turns the ball over once again to the Spartans. So back-to-back possessions. West Orange gives it up on a team control foul.
And then at the end of those 28 games, we add up which side, the Metro or Florida Contingency, has more wins. Again, 11-11 right now as Discovery picks up that loose ball. Wilson, in particular, the long outlet. Over to McLaughlin. Back to Wilson. Back to McLaughlin, the two-man game. Now they break that over to Starr, who's seeing time in the second half, and splash!
3 for Ashland Starr from Dante Hines.
Fifth lead change in the last 2.5 minutes. Second for Discovery. And the third three-point field goal in that same time span. So the battle rages on. 46-45 lead for Discovery. 1:20 in the third. West Orange now going into their half-court set under Eddie Johnson, the first-year coach. And more contact. As
Foul called against number 1, Sean Starr. That's his first. The team's fourth. We'll pause here. We've had a lot of issues with sweat on the floor today.
Yeah,
must be a little muggy in here.
Actually, throughout this, I'd say throughout the event, although to your point, Mark, though, it has been more than the previous 2 days. West Orange will keep possession, inbound it. Fermate taking the inbound pass on their side of the court. Couple passes into the corner, and the launch, and drain the rain.
3 for Ethan Gonzalez from Kyle Behrle. So when Burley's not scoring, he's helping somebody else score.
48-46 lead now for West Orange. A 6 lead change makes that 7.
Wille Wilson answers for the Spartans. Tie game once again, and we'll get a foul at the other side.
42.5 seconds remaining, 48 all.
Foul called against number 11, David McLaughlin. That's his first, the team's fifth. Lazarus Mwelwa back in for Discovery. Warriors ball at the opposing baseline.
So the inbound for West Orange, they swing it around to the right side. Along that baseline. And that was, I believe that's Gonzalez hitting the deck. Number 12, no, actually it's number 10, Narcisse. And he thought there was a foul, but the refs disagreed. And instead, it's just simply a turnover. Canuelas will inbound the ball. As West Orange, man-to-man defense. They played that throughout. Both these teams going man-to-man, actually. Canuelas, hands off to Starr. Back to Canuelas, open shot, one motion. Drains the rain.
3 for Angel Canuelas. 17 points for him out of the 51 total.
And another lead change, the 6th now, since 4 minutes in the third quarter. Make that 7.
Three answered by Frederick Crumpton. And that takes us to the end of the third quarter, and we are no closer to deciding this contest than we were 24 minutes ago. 51-51 is your score going into the last break. Fourth quarter will start a new ball game between Discovery and West Orange here in game 23 of the 12th annual Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge, presented by St. Germain Chiropractic and Burn Pat Orlando.
We begin the fourth quarter with the West Orange Warriors representing the Metro Conference and the Discovery Spartans representing the Florida contingency, tied at 51 all. West Orange scored first. They drained the tray on their very first possession, had the lead for about 2.5 quarters. Discovery rallied. Of course, they slowly cut into that lead and took the lead for the first time. Roughly 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Since then, 7 lead changes and 2 ties. Certainly, we're heating up here at Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium on the campus of Apopka High School. As Mwelwa unable to get that ball through.
That's tipped away by Narcisse, and Crumpton picks it up on the steal. Now we go the other way, and it scores. That's DeGems Narcisse to break the tie. 11 points for him so far today.
And the lead change count continues. 8 now. The drop back pass to Behrle, who does not make the withdrawal. He's denied. Offensive charge.
Player control foul is called against number 1, Kyle Behrle, his third. The team's fourth. And you saw Eddie Johnson just about collapse over there out of the corner of the camera when he saw the call, but nevertheless, it'll be a turnover.
Yeah, key play. Can't stress that enough. First time in about 4 minutes that West Orange looked like they were going to score a couple of baskets in a row, get the lead to more than 2 points. So again, for the first 2.5 quarters, West Orange led. Since then, we have had 7 lead changes and 2 ties. And now our referee is giving Coach Johnson, the West Orange coach, a warning. As the ball goes out of bounds and a turnover. So West Orange with the 53-51 lead. Their defense gives them an opportunity to once again get that lead above 2 possessions and break this trend we've had for about 5.5 minutes of going back and forth.
Foul called against Spartans number 5, Wille Wilson, his first, the team's 6th. And so that'll be an advantage for West Orange. They'll get bonus for the rest of the game.
Behrle from the left wing, too long, off the backboard, and Discovery gets another rebound. Rebounding has been their key for Discovery throughout this game, and 3-point field goal shooting has been the key for West Orange as Canuelas can't get the tray to drop. Now both these teams are not nearly as strong as their forte since about the start of the second quarter, but certainly rebounding for Discovery and the 3-point field goal for West Orange has carried both these teams to this point in the game.
And of course, a lot of these players condition during the offseason, but they've only been practicing as a team for a few weeks, and they've only had the preseason classic. And one of the things that you do notice in the early season is this issue of stamina. That 32 minutes is a long time to go, especially if you don't have a deep bench. And we're going to get a foul called here against Spartans number 1, Ashan Starr. That's his second, the team's 7th, and that will send the Warriors to the free throw line. Kyle Behrle shooting.
Yeah, and the intensity on this game has certainly picked up. The other thing, too, to your point, Mark, of course, this is the first game for most of these teams in this Metro versus Florida Challenge. The regular season officially began on Monday.
But you see that a lot in week 1, week 2, week 3 kind of contests, that teams are still getting used to putting enough gas in the tank to get through 32 minutes, and it's a tough thing to do. It's a lot easier said than done. Lord knows I couldn't do it. And you start to see that sometimes that energy starts to fade a little bit when you get into the fourth quarter, and whichever team is able to keep gas in the can a little bit longer is the one that ultimately prevails.
Yeah, right now West Orange is the one with a little bit more gas in the tank. Opportunity to score 3 consecutive baskets as that is number 11, Crumpton.
And we're going to get a foul against the Spartans here.
Yeah, Crumpton hitting the deck after a mammoth job of
Sean Starr is called on his third personal foul. It's the team's 8th, and it puts the Warriors into bonus. At the line, shooting 1-1 for the Warriors will be number 11, Frederick Crumpton.
So as you heard Mark just say, bonus the rest of the way for West Orange, while they themselves have committed only 4 fouls now, 5.5 remaining in this 23rd game of the Metro versus Florida Challenge 2022 edition, dedicated to Earl Graham.
So Crumpton makes his first and earns a second.
Score both the free throws. And now that's 6 consecutive points. Actually, 9 consecutive points for West Orange. They were trailing 51-48. And 4 of those 9 points coming at the free throw line. Behrle also sinking a pair. Mwelwa thinks twice about taking that trade, going one-on-one. And now the loose ball. Picked up by Horn, leading the charge of 4-on-2. And he'll draw the foul. So there you see the no hesitation, instantly on the run as soon as that ball was picked up. And of course that pays dividends in the form of a foul. Actually,
no, there is no foul. It's just out of bounds. Yep.
Thought there was some contact. Number of players hit the deck. A couple of players hit the deck. So a 9-0 run by West Orange. Had an opportunity to get that run into double digits. Discovery takes a breath and sigh of relief. Of course, now you have to actually score for that turnover to matter. This is Mwelwa. Hands off to Wilson, who drives, and the slash and dash results in a foul. Contact.
Foul's called against Kyle Behrle. That's his 4th personal foul, the team's 5th, and that one will send Wille Wilson to the line, shooting for the Spartans. So 4 on Behrle, and that's pretty consequential.
Yeah, Behrle, your leading scorer. How many points does he have, Mark?
Well, Wille Wilson just got 16. He had 15 before. And to get back to your question, Kyle Behrle is at 12. He is the 2nd leading scorer for West Orange.
And to that point, Mark, he had 10. He had 10 at halftime. So Discovery, he was the leading scorer at halftime with 10. As both free throws go and the lead cut to 2 possessions. West Orange has led for about 2 minutes now. And the kick out to Narcisse, who drops in the deuce.
James Narcisse adds 2 for the Warriors.
Only 2 points for Behrle in the second half as Canuelas tips that ball out to his teammate and rejected. And so even though Behrle's not scoring in the second half, he shows his defensive prowess, and that's a big play as the end result's going to be a foul, sending Narcisse to the line.
Foul called against Fiferson St. Fleur. His 2nd, the team's 9th. Warriors go to the free throw line. This will be James Narcisse shooting.
4:23 remaining. 59-53 lead for West Orange, representing the Metro Conference, over Discovery, representing the Florida contingency. And so, just want to mention too, of course, the official name of this event is the Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge, now the 12th edition. Of course, There was no event in 2020 due to the pandemic as 1 of 2 goes down for Narcisse. 7-point lead. And not only is Earl Graham's name on the title, but it's also on the Most Valuable Player award. As Discovery continues to work that ball in. Good defense by West Orange. And there was some contact right to the face. Horn hitting the deck.
So the question is, did the timeout come before or after the contact? Two things happened. The timeout was called and a foul occurred. However, I believe the timeout was first. So,
Okay.
Timeout. Spartans, full timeout.
And so, while we got the timeout, Coach Earl Graham, if you are not familiar with high school basketball in Central Florida, his name is not only on the MVP but the title of this event. He was an assistant coach here at Apopka High School. When he passed away in 2020, it'll be 2 years on January 7th, unfortunately due to the pandemic. But he was so much more, not just to Apopka, but to the high school basketball community in general. He was the kind of coach who you can't be a successful coach individually and you can't be a successful team. You don't win a championship. You don't make deep runs into the playoffs without a coach like Coach Graham. He was the coach who worked with the players. He was willing to come here to Apopka at 5:36 in the morning before classes, before the sun came up, opened up the gym and worked out the players, worked on specific skills. And again, for lack of a better way of putting it, he could be a hard ass. He expected and demanded perfection, but that's why his players improved so much. And of course, they were ready to make those long runs once the playoffs began. He also did the organizational and logistical, most of that. That's so important to an individual coach. He worked with Coach Williams, of course, Coach Williams, the head coach here, as well as the creator and the director of this event. 15 years, first 7 with him at Wekiva. When Coach Williams came up here to Apopka, Coach Graham came with Coach Williams. And in general, Coach Graham, with almost 50 years of coaching experience and just in general, had that influence that every young person needs, setting up young people, teaching them the lessons of life, and just really setting them up to be successful adults, as well as he also was a firefighter for Orange County, so certainly a man of courage and valor as well.
So we've got an officials conference that's happening here with the coaches as the official is explaining here to Coach Bovell about the foul that he's about to call for dead ball contact, because the foul that occurred would be a foul regardless of whether it occurred on a live ball or a dead ball, because he pretty much got him in the face with the ball. So we're getting the official call at the table now. So this is going to be essentially be a flagrant 1. Black 4. Sorry, black 4 you said?
Black 4, yes, sir.
West Orange on a 12-2 run. 4:04 remaining. That 12-2 run has put West Orange 60-53.
Intentional foul was called during the dead ball against Seth Matthews. That was his second personal foul, the team's 10th, and so at shooting we have Khalil Horn. And Horn connects on 1 of 2.
To make that a 61-53 lead for West Orange. So West
Warriors fall at the sideline. So again, to explain what happened there during that timeout, the timeout was called, but because Matthews conked Crumpton in the face, or Horn rather, in the face there with the ball after the whistle had been blown, that is considered, it's considered an intentional foul, or to use the NBA terminology would be a flagrant 1, because it's essentially a hit on a defenseless player. It's not part of the regular movement of the game. It is contact that's made during a dead ball situation where the player is not reasonably expecting to be defending against that, and so that's why you saw the free throws. That was not a technical foul, but that's why you saw the free throws were taken with no one in the key, and why the Warriors immediately got possession after the free throws were taken.
Horn with the rebound, and now West Orange with an opportunity to reestablish a 10-point lead. West Orange scoring the first points of the game, a tray from Narcisse. On the very first possession, they got the lead all the way up to 10 in that first quarter. And then Discovery, as they're going to try to score here, Canuelas, unable to keep a handle on that. Ball goes out of bounds, will remain with Discovery though. Discovery chipping away, not really a big standout run as Canuelas drops in the deuce off the bank.
19 points now for Angel Canuelas.
And eventually they took the lead. Discovery, they tied the game. About 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter at 37 all, and then till about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, 8 lead changes and 2 ties. Since then, West Orange went on a take control of the game run, 12-2, and that's where we are now. Is Discovery trying to refine their mojo, and skying for that rebound is Crumpton. So West Orange with the 6-point lead, back with possession.
Two and a half to go here, and West Orange having spent most of the first 3 quarters of this game on top, and now, as we said earlier, Neil, it really sometimes, especially in these early weeks, comes down to who runs out of gas first, and for a minute it looked like that was going to be West Orange, but now Discovery showing some signs of fading here in the last 8 minutes or so of this ball game. Now a 6-point lead for West Orange, and we're going to get a timeout.
Yeah, and I think West Orange, you can say that they're right on empty, but as you pointed out, Discovery is probably below the empty line. West Orange, 3 or 4 possessions, opportunity to get that lead back up to 4 possessions, 8 points, and just unable to convert.
Full timeout called by the Warriors. Back with the last 2 minutes of Game 23 here at Joe Sterling Gymnasium, home of the 2022 Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge. Welcome back to Joe Sterling Gymnasium, where we've got a 6-point ball game, so it is by no means a done deal here. But just as we repeated over and over again in the previous game between Winter Park and Lake Mineola, it's just a matter of unanswered baskets. And so far, Discovery has not shown any propensity for getting unanswered baskets. They've been able to keep pace most of the game, but have not been able to string anything together consecutively, forcing turnovers, etc. And here's just another example of that, as we are going to get a nice block going out of bounds by Lazarous Mwelwa.
Yeah, that unable to make any inroads into the lead has been over the last 4 minutes or so. Of course, we had that period from about 4 minutes in the third quarter to about 6 minutes remaining, 8 lead changes and 2 ties.
Now here's something that'll help as we get a steal under the basket by Canuelas. So the Warriors are denied a scoring opportunity there, and the Spartans will have an opportunity to cut into the lead as that's a bad bounce pass, went straight into the heel of Kyle Behrle, and Khalil Horn comes down with it. So wasted opportunity there for the Spartans, one that they desperately needed as we get a jumper and it falls. That's Gems Narcisse on the J. 16 points for him. He's got to be in the conversation if you're thinking about MVP awards. Khalil Horn, of course, also another obvious contender for that.
Lead up to 7, 1 minute remaining.
Air ball on the tray. Second chance will go. That's number 25, Angel Canuelas. Getting into double figures twice over with 25 on the putback, and now we'll pause for a timeout. Full timeout requested by Discovery.
So a 13-0 run, starting about 6 minutes remaining, has put West Orange up. They now have the 6-point lead with just under a minute remaining from Apopka High School. This is the Varsity Sports Network.
Welcome back to Joe Sterling Gymnasium. We are in the closing minute here. 58.3 seconds on the clock, and it's a 63-57 lead for West Orange. They'll also have the ball coming out of the break here.
And Discovery needs to come up with a couple of stops, and certainly that was not a stop, even though the ball does not drop for Narcisse. Time comes off that clock, 45 seconds. And there is what Discovery could not do, the turnover and the easy deuce, score the bank for Gonzalez.
Ethan Gonzalez from Gems Narcisse.
At the other end, a repeat.
Answered by Lazarous Mwelwa.
So as you mentioned, Mark, before the break, Discovery able to keep up when West Orange scores, but that's not what they need. They need to get a stop and then score.
Full timeout called by the Spartans.
Give West Orange credit. Discovery went to the full court trap, and they took advantage of it. Showed no hesitation and no problem being able to break it. And, of course, it wound up for the easy layup off the backboard for Ethan Gonzalez. So the Metro versus Florida Challenge, the second of 7 games. This is the 4th day. Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium on the campus of Apopka High School hosting this event. And, of course, Apopka, the host school, will be playing later today and 2 games from now. If you're new to the event, every member of the Metro Conference, that's 22, in each of these games takes on a non-member, a.k.a. the Florida contingency. And at the end of the 28 games, we add up and see which side has more victories. The Metro Conference holding a 121-97 advantage heading into this year's event in terms of the individual games. Coming up after this game, Cypress Creek, representing the Metro Conference, will take on Vieira, representing the Florida Christian. Vieira, representing the Florida contingency. And turnover for West Orange. Discovery forcing it. 7-point lead, 3 possessions. Only 21 seconds right now. So Discovery needs the quick basket. And then they're probably going to have to follow West Orange just as quickly.
Go, 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 go.
20 seconds remaining. Mwelwa to Wilson. Over to Matthews. Got to get rid of that ball. Mwelwa does. And short. And Horn brings down the rebound. And that's going to do it as the final seconds ticked off. A 13-0 run by the West Orange Warriors, representing the Metro Conference, beginning at the 6-minute mark of the 4th quarter. The difference, they then hold on in a game which was really 2 stories. 8 lead changes in the middle part of the game with 2 ties before that 13-0 run. And West Orange takes the victory for the Metro Conference.
That takes us to the end of game number 23. 65-59 is the final score, with the Warriors notching one for the Orlando Metro Conference and holding off a valiant Spartan comeback attempt. Before we move on to game 24, we have just a little bit more business to take care of, and that is to award the Earl Graham MVP Award. Coach Earl Graham influenced the lives of thousands of young men over his 40 years as a coach in Central Florida. For 15 years, Coach Graham worked as an assistant coach alongside Apopka head coach Scott Williams, the last 7 of which were right here at Apopka. The Metro versus Florida Challenge honors the legacy of Coach Graham by awarding our game's most valuable player with a plaque in Earl's name and image. Presenting the most valuable player plaque is Coach Graham's son, Rod. And the most valuable player for this game, with 18 points to lead the Warriors to victory, the 5'9" senior point guard, number 4, Khalil Horn. Once again, we'd like to thank everyone for coming out to Joe Sterling Gymnasium or for tuning in on Varsity Sports Network for Game 23 of the 12th Annual Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge presented by St. Germain Chiropractic in Burnfat, Orlando.